Clinton, I'm keen to park some money to an en-bloc potential property. You got such lobang or not? Matter of fact, yes. In the past 2 years, we have managed to identify close to 5 developments that has a very strong potential for en-bloc, and we have personally managed to help a few of my clients acquire quite a number of these properties that range between 1.5 all the way to 5 million bucks. But disclaimer first, I'm no god. I can't predict whether a property will definitely go en-bloc or not. I just usually look at certain criteria to do a projection on the possibility of an en-bloc happening. You don't go listen to my video now, go buy the property and come back 10 years later and tell me, walao, you say we'll go en-bloc on it. I don't know when that will happen. 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Please do your own due diligence. So in today's episode of PocketView Insights, I will be sharing with you guys one such property in District 15 that still has a decent potential to buy now and hope for the biggest payout of your life. Where in District 15 is this property located at? Of course, only the most prestigious address in District 15, Meyer Road. Now, along Meyer Road, there are 3 old plots of land that are next in line to go en bloc. Number 1, Peach Garden. Number 2, Hawai Towers. Number 3, Atria at Meyer. And among these 3, I strongly believe Hawai Towers will be the next to go. Why? Because number 1, Peach Garden has plenty of old money stuck in there. Residents who have been living there for like 1,000 years already and see no reason to move. For those who are familiar with Meyer Road, if you know it, you know it. Also, there hasn't been a known en-bloc exercise in recent times as far as I'm concerned. I might be wrong on that. Number 3, Atria at Meyer did try recently but failed to get the necessary 80%, and the transaction volumes in recent years have been very strong. So that might mean that there might be a higher chance of the newer owners opposing the move. Which brings me to Hawai Towers. Now, Hawai Towers last tried for en bloc quite some time back but didn't manage to secure any bids after getting the 80% go-ahead. The plot is quite big at around 192,000 square feet with only 135 units sitting on it, with a plot ratio of 2.8. Now, for those who are new to this, 135 units on 190,000 square feet land confirm is underutilized. The max GFA allowed to be built on this is probably 537,000. As of now, based on my rough estimates, current GFA should be standing at around 310,000 square feet, which means that Hawai Towers really has plenty of potential for a developer to come scoop it up to maximize its potential. So, what sort of criteria do I look at aside from the obvious potential of being able to unlock more space in the development itself? Number 1, transaction volume. You would think that a healthy transaction volume is good. In fact, in en bloc, it is the opposite. The higher the transaction volumes, as mentioned for Atria, the more likely the newer owners might oppose the sale. Of course, the transaction volume doesn't tell you the entire story of such purchase. Maybe the buyers bought it purely for en bloc potential? Who knows? But given there's still SSD involved for some, that might deter them from signing on the dotted line. Now, if you look at the transaction volumes of Hawai Towers, there's only been 1 this year, 0 in 2023, and 2 in 2022. Now, that's not a very good number, which is good. Number 2, en bloc history. I think this one quite easy to understand. If the development consistently tried for en bloc, clearing the 80% approval to find the right bidder but failed at the last hurdle, you will know that the mindset of the owners in this development leans more towards wanting to push for an eventual sale. It is all then down to timing and waiting for all the stars to align. Maybe the next en bloc exercise, they get the necessary 80% and get the bidder eventually, just like Meyer Park after multiple attempts. Number 3, the risk to reward. Now, you need to understand, given the price you are paying for, what will you be expecting to yield if the property goes to en bloc at its reserve price? Now, a quick look at the most recent transaction of Hawai Towers. It got sold at about $4 million, if I can recall correctly. The reserve price pitched across previously was around $6 million. Now, as the development of block potential becomes more evident, you will notice more and more owners trying to sell their units at a slightly higher premium that still falls quite some distance away from the reserve price, but probably not sensible enough of an entry level for one to resell in the secondary market down the road in the event you cannot wait long enough for the en bloc to take place. That's why buying into the older properties that has en bloc potential, the best strategy or mindset is to buy something that you will live in. Now spend money on renovating the house and with your en blocs. Don't try to put a timeline to this investment timeline ideally. Okay, because en bloc is really what I call hitting the jackpot. Many people tend to stare in envy of such owner reaping the rewards of their investment, but do you also understand the cons of such move if it doesn't happen, right? Firstly, if you don't plan to live in such a property, your ROI or your return on investment is rubbish, right? Rubbish to the extent it might become a negative carry. Now let's look at the rental in recent times, and I will use the highest number as a best case scenario. $6,800. Now, without even factoring the maintenance fee and property tax, the yield is only at 2%. Imagine you take a fixed rate of 2.8% on the $3 million loan. Means that you're already losing every year just to hold on to the property. Now, once I add the maintenance fee and property tax, you will likely be losing even more. And don't forget, Hawai Towers is a very, very old property. Even before you rent it out, you are likely required to fork out quite a fair bit of money on the renovations to yield the property up to standard. Now, even with a conservative approach, I expect that number to be no less than $50,000. And of course, you haven't added in agent commission, right? That's why it is more advisable to live in a property like this. Unless you are someone who has deeper pockets that probably pays in full cash for a property like this. Otherwise, the upkeep and maintenance might kill you in the longer run. Now, in the event you don't think you can wait long enough for en bloc, there's also a silver lining. During this period, given that you are already paying a premium right at the start because it has en bloc potential, you will hope that the prices for the newer ones in Meyer Road continues to climb up. Now, let's say the upcoming Meyer Blue launches at around 3,000 to 3,200 per square foot, a record for District 15. What happens in the next 3-4 years will be more of the talking point. Why? Because those who buys at 3,000 to 3,200 per square foot will want to try to sell at 3,500 to 3,800 per square foot, right? Now, when that happens, people can't help but to compare Hawai Towers at 1,800 per square foot, almost half the price of Meyer Blue down the road, and say, okay, even I have to pay 2,200 per square foot today, it is still only 60% of its price. Then like that, you already make money already, ma. So it means by default, Hawai Towers might rise in price due to inflation and with newer properties transacting at new levels, not because it's suddenly become much more desirable. But also, you got to check carefully over one fact even though Hawai Towers size is huge at 2,239 square feet, it is only a 3-bedroom unit, a very large one though. So this is a different set of problems altogether that you must be careful about. Also, of course, if you don't have a budget of up to $4 million, as per mentioned, I have probably 4 other en bloc potential developments that you can consider. So if you are keen, or you can always reach me via my WhatsApp or just give me a call, okay? In conclusion, if you have a budget of up to $4 million looking for an en bloc potential property, you might want to start looking at Hawai Towers. I'm pretty confident it's one of the next few to go en bloc along Meyer Road in time to come. Again, I might be wrong, but this is just my opinion. The risk to reward is high, but if you don't hit the jackpot, you can only then hope that the higher prices in Meyer Road pushes the price for your unit upwards organically so that you can sell in the secondary market. If you're someone who is very particular about cash flow, rental use, and yet want to invest into an en bloc potential property, just forget it, okay? There's no such property that exists. There's no such thing as high rental yield, high potential en bloc, whatever thing high. No such thing one, okay? Because the yields will be bad. The upkeep is going to be high. The maintenance is going to be quite fierce. Because why? High risk, high returns. Because if you are not up for this, then just stay grounded and realistic and just buy a resale or a new launch.